What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week, give you all of your tech news stories from the past 7 days in one single video. And in this video, there's so much information that leaked out about the Galaxy S22 Ultra and Galaxy Tab S8, the whole series of phones. It's crazy, as well as some new folding phones that are potentially coming out for Samsung and so much more. A great, fun week of tech news. So enjoy this week, and we'll see you in the next one. One and only story today is about the Pixel notebook, aka the Pixel Fold. It's Google Pixel's folding phone, which is going to be a competitor here in America and other places as well to the Galaxy Z Fold 3. I'm extremely excited about this phone. There's some things that might be a little lacking, but overall I'm very, very excited about it. And the information is coming from 9 to 5 Google, and it's talking about a bunch of things about this phone. So first of all, why don't we read the headline? The headline, as you can see, says that this is Google's target price for the Pixel Notepad foldable phone. And it goes on to say that the foldable phone is presumably going to be on $1,399 in the United States, giving it a $500 price difference between the Pixel 6 Pro and the Pixel Notepad, and then about $400 cheaper than the Galaxy Z Fold 3. That's a big, big difference, $400 in prices with that phone. To add on to it, they do go into a little bit more detail, saying that it's set to look more like an Oppo Find N, which we've been hearing, more than the Galaxy Z Fold 3. And I found these photos of this nice little comparison on Phone Arena's website, which not only first of all shows them open completely, where you see the 7.1-inch display of the Oppo Find N versus the Z Fold 3 7.6 on the right. You can just see it. It almost looks like it got cut on the bottom part, but it got fatter when they cut the bottom part, or it just looks different. Not good, not bad. Just obviously, because I've never played with an Oppo Find N. I don't know if I love it or hate it, but ultimately you can see they're going to look quite different when unfolded. Then also, here's a little spec comparison real quick between the Oppo Find N and Z Fold 3. The main things I'm looking at are the main display and the external display. Now, we talked about the 7.1-inch on the external display versus the 7.6 on the Z Fold 3. Right below that, you see the external displays with a 5.49-inch display and a 6.2-inch display on the Z Fold 3. And then when they're completely closed and you see the outside displays, I do like the Oppo Find N display better. It's shorter, but it's also much fatter, which is going to be a little bit more usable, I feel like, at the end of the day when you use these phones for video, social media, and everything else that you probably do with it. Also, keep in mind that the Pixel Notepad is rumored to be coming with the Google Tensor chip, which is the same chip that's in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. And the cameras inside are going to be as old as the Pixel 3, which is kind of old, but you can probably still get some nice photos out of that Pixel 3. They used that camera for quite a while when they did that phone. But that's the information we have so far with the Pixel Fold, Pixel Notepad, whatever you want to call it, whatever you know it by. It's really getting to the point where it's probably months away. I think it's like the April-May timeframe, maybe June, before it's released. So you're looking at a few more months before it's released. And as time goes on, we are definitely going to know more and more and more about this. Before, though, we get to the end of this, I do want to tell you that I think what's going to happen is, I think the way they're cutting the prices, it being $13.99, I do think they'll use a 60 hertz display on the front, just like the Oppo. I think they'll use 120 on the inside. I think obviously they show the cameras being a little bit downgraded, so I don't think you're going to see 4K 60. I think the highest you'll see is 4K 30 frames per second on the video on the front and on the back. Even on the front, I actually think it'll probably only be 1080p on the video. Again, this is stuff I'm speculating about. I could be completely wrong about some of the stuff I'm guessing on, but I think to cut corners, I think they're going to want to downplay some of the specs on here to get it to a lower price range, but still have a really nice performing phone. I don't think the charging will be all that fast. It'll probably be 15 watts or 25 watts. The battery probably won't be all that big. There's going to be some cutbacks to cut the price and the size and the weight of this thing. It's all about the pricing for the Galaxy S22, 22 Plus, and 22 Ultra. We've already spoken about rumors and things like that, and it looks like Google themselves have leaked out the official pricing for the Galaxy S22 series of phones here in America, the good old US of A. And they're high, guys. So, and we kind of were expecting this, and it looks like they're definitely going to be high. And we're getting this from a survey. Now, I pulled this information from Reddit, or I saw it, someone tweeted it out and got it from Reddit. And on Reddit, the guy says Google Opinion Rewards may have leaked the release date and price breaks for the Galaxy S22 series. I just received a survey from Google regarding the S22, got a whopping 20 cents for answering no. If you don't know about Google Opinion Rewards, sign up. Because basically, it just asks you questions randomly, you answer them, and you get free Google Play Store credit. So just look for the Google Opinion Rewards app in the Google Play Store, download it, sign up for it, and answer that stuff. But anyways, when we click onto the image says the new S22 will launch on February 8th with 3 models. The S22 is going to be $899, at least the starting price. S22 Plus will be $1099, and the S22 Ultra will be $1299. And then it says, do you intend to upgrade to the new S22? If so, which model? And it shows the 3 models and the prices right next to them. And it also says not upgrading to the S22 if he's doing that as well. But this just all leads into the fact that, you know, we've been seeing and hearing that these prices are going to be higher. And this just adds a whole lot of pressure and weight to those findings. But ultimately, some of the prices are the same. But the S22 Ultra is definitely $100 more than it was in the previous generation. I know most of you folks are more interested, seemingly, in the 22 Ultra, as am myself. You know, you can do it. I'm not great in English. It's just, man, we're getting to these upper tier prices. And remember, that's the base model, $1299. For 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. If you want that next step up, which is going to be 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, you're probably looking at another $100, maybe another $150. At that point, that's $1399 for the phone. Most people will probably end up buying for the 22 Ultra, at least from my channel. I think regular people that just go to the store, they're probably going to buy the $1299 model or the Plus version. I think those will be the 2 best sellers. But you guys, me, us, we're going for that probably $1,399 model. Then you go to the next step up. It's going to be $1,499 for the next step. And then you get to the 1 terabyte with 16 gigs of RAM. It's probably going to be $1,699. That's what it's looking like. These prices are probably going from, on the Ultra anyway, $1,299 for the base, all the way up to most likely $1,700. And it's not even a folding phone. It doesn't bring any kind of new technology other than, you know, slightly better cameras, S Pen integration, better screen. Like, these are just upgraded features. It's nothing new in terms, this is the 21 Fan Edition, but it doesn't bring anything new. It's basically just a phone. And this all goes hand in hand because Samsung has now made it official. They put out some information, a tweet, whatever you want to call it, saying, join us as we break the rules to set the epic standard at Samsung Unpacked. February 9th, 2022, reserve now, samsung.com/reserve. And you can see it's February 9th, 2022. This should be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So just figure that out on a time zone map, timeline, whatever you want to call it, to figure out what time it goes on at your neck of the woods. And then also, they ended up putting out this little video here showing off, they basically show the phone, and if you really pay attention to the commercial, they're ultimately showing you the camera quality or the camera features of some sort with the phone, including night photos. So it seems like night photos and just photos overall are going to be a big selling point for Samsung. Not like they haven't been in the past, but it seems like they're pushing that same mantra again this year with the Galaxy S22 series of phones. And then it just leads to the question, like, obviously I know some of you said, oh, the reserves aren't open in where I live. America definitely had it open about a week ago, so I'll link the American one down below. But I know in other countries it's available now too, and the deals are even better if you reserve Korea, Netherlands, and somewhere else. But some of them is you're getting $50 credit. Korea, I know they're getting up to $100 credit at least, plus the pre-order stuff, whatever they give you. So definitely reserve it, even if you're not going to buy it. I highly recommend it. That way you're kind of locked into there if you decide to go through with it. But if at the same time, if you decide not to go through with it, you don't have to. You're not locked to anything. It's just if you try to, if you do reserve, at least you get the chance of getting better gifts, better trade-in values, better credits, the phone at a certain point, not have to wait too long, because there's rumors that the Ultra phone is going to be very, very sought after. Sought after, is that the word? Doesn't sound right. Very, very highly wanted of a phone compared to the rest of the line of these phones. So we'll wait and see. First, our first story of the day is all about a new phone, again, that's potentially coming out from Samsung. That's crazy. It's got all these hinges and S Pens and all that kind of stuff. So let's check this out. Now, this information was pulled by the fine folks over at Let's Go Digital. And you can see from the headline, it says Samsung Galaxy dual fold phone with an S Pen holder. Samsung patents an advanced dual folding Galaxy smartphone with an integrated stylus pen holder to store the S Pen. And you can see all the different orientations that it goes in. You can see that the S Pen does get integrated into, looks like the bottom of the phone. I would assume it would be the bottom of the phone. You can see when it's completely wide open, it looks like a fairly large display. It doesn't look like there's a camera on top of it. It looks like the camera's probably underneath it, the selfie camera. There are dual cameras, or maybe dual cameras on the back there. The phone looks pretty freaking big, but ultimately the key takeaways from that are that it is a dual folding smartphone, Z-shaped, triple camera, they say, actually when I look at the notes, with periscope lens, under panel selfie camera, and a magnetic S Pen holder. But really cool stuff to the future of what we potentially might be seeing with future Galaxy Z Fold line of phones. I think that's going to be where they're really going to put most of their money in the future of devices, and I think that's what most people will end up buying within the next 5 years. I really think within the next 5 years, most people are going to be buying Z-lined phones. I don't think you're just going to buy a Galaxy S line. I mean, unless they turn the S line into like what the Z Fold line looks like into, but I think most people are going to buy either the Z Flip or the Z Fold or some other thing that looks like this, but this is definitely the future of which Samsung is doing. Our first story of the day is about the Galaxy S22 series of phones, and there's a new feature that's coming along with them that might make you happy or make you not really care at all, and that is, as you can see from the headline, that the Galaxy S22 series has a new haptic feedback motor. So good news, S22 series all feature an X-axis linear motor. I guess this is the same one that's in the Z Fold 3 from what I'm hearing, which allows you ultimately to feel better, good vibrations, better vibrations, stronger and shorter vibrations, just better vibrations overall to give you a better feeling with the phone. So if the phone buzzes or the phone, any kind of motorized moving of the phone in terms of the buzzing, it's gonna feel better. So there you guys go, something to look forward to. Also, speaking about the Galaxy S22 series of phones, which phones are gonna have 45-watt charging out of all the S22s? Well, the S22 will have 25-watt charging, the S22 Plus will have 45-watt charging, and the S22 Ultra will have 45-watt charging. So just the Plus and the Ultra will have 45-watt charging. The regular old plain small one, S22, will have 25-watt charging. There you guys go. I'd be curious to see if the speeds have increased and improved since the last 45-watt charging on the S20's phones, S20 Ultra. So I guess we'll wait and see when that comes out. Also, another reminder, I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but after 3 years, no new Galaxy Buds seem to be coming up at Unpacked 22. So if you're looking for some new Galaxy Buds, there's not going to be any, so just keep that in mind. It was an absolute massive leak of information on the Galaxy Tab S8 tablets and Galaxy S22 phones. Most of this information we already know, so I'm not gonna just rehash all of it. And I'm not gonna show the exact leaks because he ended up leaking official stuff from Samsung that's promo information that will come out at the launch of this phone. But I'm gonna talk about it in a list and basically just tell you what I read about it. If you wanna look at it on your own, I'll list his Twitter down below and you can check it out on your own time. So with that said, let's just dive into this massive treasure trove of information all about the Galaxy S22 series of phones. Again, I'm just gonna talk about stuff that kind of stood out to me and stuff that I think you're gonna be interested in and stuff that hasn't really been amplified too much. So with that said, let's dive into this information. Again, this is all gonna be listed out for you as we go, so let's just read it. So first of all, they're gonna talk about the Galaxy S22 phones having their strongest aluminum frame built with Armor aluminum, Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, and IP68. So basically, this is gonna be literally their most strong Galaxy device to date, which is, I guess, great. Toughest Samsung Galaxy yet. That's what they're going to end up calling it. Also, the display, brightest display ever on a Galaxy device. Not a Galaxy laptop or a phone or a tablet. Galaxy device ever. So your Galaxy S22 Ultra will have the brightest ever display that Samsung basically has ever released. They say that the Galaxy S22 Ultra is going to have the longest battery life ever on a Galaxy device. That includes tablets, computers, everything. They're saying that this Galaxy would have the longest battery life, which is kind of surprising to me. I still would think that the tablets would probably have a better battery life, but what am I to say against their marketing? It's going to have 3 times improved latency with the S Pen on the new Galaxy S22 Ultra. So if you're a fan of latency, we've heard it's going to be ultra low latency, meaning it's going to feel really smooth, no lag, nothing like that. This is the device to get for sure. Cameras are going to be a big offering on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and they mentioned a new feature coming out called nightography. So if you love taking pictures of the stars, the moon, the sky at night, nightography is going to be a new updated feature on Samsung. Obviously, they're probably going to take a lot of AI liberties, artificial intelligence. Photos will offer unimaginable clarity and depth with adaptive pixels. So photos are going to be, quote unquote, better than they have ever been, even though the cameras haven't changed all that much. It sounds like AI is going to play a major role, because it says they also mentioned that their photos will have more detailed expressions of skin and eyebrows, as well as offering clearer segmentation with depth in objects. So a lot of AI is going to go into their photos to improve that, which completely fine with me. Google Pixel phones do an amazing job with AI to make their photos look that much better. And I also want to look at a tweet from Ishan Agarwal, because he talks about some stuff that I went over, but it's some other stuff as well. So he's saying he's hearing very good things about the night photography on the S22 Ultra, as Samsung is teasing. And then something we talked about yesterday, the X-axis linear motor for better vibrations. Exynos 2200, which some of the countries in the world will get, does heat up with games like Call of Duty and PUBG, but early software, so that might be the issue. But if you're a gamer, the Exynos 2200 may heat up on you when you game on some heavy duty games. And then charging, we've heard this is going to be real 45 watt charging, not the half crap stuff they released with the S20 phones. So 0 to 100% charging in 45 to 50 minutes, which is a slight improvement. So a lot of good things coming out of here in terms of AI playing a better role, or more of a prominent role potentially in making photos better. You got nightography. We're going to see better performance. I didn't really talk about it, but it is something we're going to get. So it seems like there's going to be a slight CPU performance on the Exynos 2200, looking at a 5% increase, but then like the GPU side will give you, I think it's like 45%. So yeah, some things, the S Pen's going to be integrated, low latency with that S Pen. So some cool things coming out. Reasons to potentially upgrade, but maybe are they big enough to upgrade? That is the question. I'll give that to you today. Story of the day is about the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the S Pen, because, you know, if you think back, there was rumors of them, if they were going to put an S Pen into the S22, it's going to make the battery smaller, or the battery wouldn't be as big. Well, this headline had me thinking a lot, and it's coming from the folks over at sammobile.com. And as you can see, Galaxy S22 Ultra proves that the S Pen is not an issue to battery capacity. Because if you think about the battery inside of the Galaxy S22 Ultra, 5,000 milliamps is, I think that's the same amount as it was last year, right? And now we have an S Pen in there. So obviously they're able to still fit a nice size battery inside of the phone, and we're still able to get probably better or equal battery life like we could last year. And now you have the S Pen inserted into the device rather than being on the outside. So everybody wins here. If you don't want to use the S Pen, whatever, but you still get the same battery. And if you do want to use the S Pen, great, you still get the same battery and you have the S Pen inserted. So it's a win-win for everybody. Next up is kind of what's been leaked so far for the Galaxy Tab S8 series within the last few days. And I kind of wanted to just give you a little rundown of things because we got a nice little tweet from Anthony who put everything into, again, a nice little list of items here, so which is kind of cool. So what is leaked of the Galaxy Tab S8 series? It's now 52% faster on the GPU side than the Tab S7 series, so gaming is going to be a lot better in that regard. New display on the Tab S8 Ultra, which is great. Who doesn't want a new display technology built in there? Improved accessories, which is a needed thing, especially keyboard accessories. I'm hearing that the Tab S8 Ultra is a real, well, somewhat real, laptop replacement. Improved speakers, that's awesome. Better sound, hey, I'm all for that. True 45 watt charging, so things are really gonna charge at that 45 watt speed, meaning I know within the S22 Ultra, for instance, you're gonna charge it about 13 minutes faster than you could on other 45 watt charging systems that Samsung's released in the past. So 45 watt faster charging is going to mean shorter times that you have to actually charge up your device. One UI 4.1, which is their new software. New and improved S Pen, meaning you get potentially, I guess, new S Pen features as well. Improved battery life. This is all win-win. New front ultra-wide camera so that when you're using it and you move around, it's gonna follow you around the room theoretically by zooming in and zooming out. So if you're on a video call, it's gonna be great. And improved DeX. Remember, DeX is their software that allows you to run your Galaxy Tab S8 like a laptop, so that you have windows and you have multiple windows, and it's a more functional way to make it a laptop replacement. And improved DeX is again a win-win. There's so many win-win awesome improvements coming over to the Galaxy Tab S8 series. So if you're thinking about upgrading, these might be some great reasons to upgrade to that device. So there you guys go. That is your news for today. Your question of the day is, what is your favorite feature that I just listed there for the Galaxy Tab S8 series? For me, and what I think, it's the improved accessories. That's one thing that held me back on the Tab S8 Ultra, or Plus I should say, was the keyboard cover just wasn't that great. It was floppy when it was on a surface that wasn't completely steady. So I'm hoping that they really improved it this year with the Tab S8 Ultra. With that said, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question comes from Dave. Hey Greg, why doesn't China sell the Oppo Fold in the US? Seems like a no-brainer. They can make so much more money doing this. I can't figure this out. I think it comes down to probably they don't think they would sell that many, which is probably true. I mean, it's hard to get into America and make a splash, especially when most people have Samsung and Apple phones over here. I would guess it just comes down to economics. That's my major guess. Other than that, I don't think they have anything going on with the government or anything. So I think they're fine in that situation. So yeah, I think it just comes down to economics, and they're probably not confident enough that they would actually make money. New York's finest, will we be able to pre-order the S22 Ultra the morning of the Unpacked event, or do we have to wait until the Unpacked event is over? Usually it's right directly after the Unpacked event is over, or like within the last few minutes of the Unpacked event. So I would say the same day as the Unpacked event, but like minutes after, usually. Jerome Gold says, question about battery charging. If you have a phone that charges at 120 watts fast charging, over time, won't that affect the life of the battery more than a phone that charges at 25 watts? I know the 120 watt is faster, but doesn't it put more strain on the battery by pushing at that rate? I'm not completely sure. I probably wouldn't say you're wrong. I would expect maybe you're somewhat right, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. Will it kill the battery that much? Maybe. I really don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I would guess also most people, the majority, maybe I'm wrong, majority of people probably want to upgrade before the battery's completely toast anyway, so it probably doesn't matter. But yeah, it's a good thing. It's something smart to think about. I don't know. I know people are gonna be like, yes, it does, but do they really know? Who knows? I haven't seen I haven't seen tons of articles that pop up in my feed that are like, oh, don't use fast charging. It completely kills, especially 120 watt. I know some people will say any fast charging kills it, but I guess it remains to be seen in some ways. Sachin Achara says, thank you, Greg, for great content as always. Question, how much of improvement in periscope zoom will be in the S22 Ultra? 100x zoom still suffers in S21 Ultra. Why Samsung's keeping 4-year-old ultra-wide camera? It doesn't have OIS. Blessings to your day. Yeah, I don't know exactly how much of an improvement, if any, it will be, but I guess looking at some of their marketing, it seems like it improved a little bit. It seems like it's improved year over year, even by little bits of that 100x zoom. So I would guess just a tiny bit. I wouldn't expect a huge improvement like for clarity of 100x. And the last question comes from Silent Runner. I'm torn. I have the iPhone 13, but the deals they're offering for the S21 FE are insane. Should I switch over? Now, if you're ready to upgrade, you're gonna upgrade right now. I think over the long term, the iPhone 13 probably is a better phone. But you get a lot with the S21 Fan Edition. You get the 120 hertz refresh rate. You get a beautiful display. You get decent sound. You get updates for years to come. You know, in a lot of ways, or some ways, it is, especially the major ways, it is better than the iPhone 13. I would say if you're gonna keep one of these phones, if you're gonna keep these phones for like 3 to 5 years, get the iPhone 13. If you're gonna upgrade in the next 2 years, get the S21 Fan Edition. Thanks for your question. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below with the word question as the first word, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.